Okay, today we are talking about the nervous system. So if we think about what we need, this is like the basis of what modulates stress and temperature, all kinds of things. But it only has two settings. It has either on or off. So think of fight, flight, freeze, that reactive part, or rest and digest. And the fight, flight, or freeze is not a bad thing. It's meant for good things. Something really stressful happens, it calls us to action, gets us moving. That's all good things. But if we stay there because of chronic stress, then that is where the problems start to happen. So we want to make sure that we are mitigating stress reaction so that way we don't continually stay in that fight, flight, or freeze. Because when we stay in that fight, flight, or freeze, we start to have responses within our body. And we want to be able to reset our nervous system so that we can get into that rest and digest. So two sides, there's no in between. So, and so we want to, and I think that COVID and the chronic stress and uncertainty, I'm seeing a lot of people being stuck in that fight, flight, or freeze. And so how would we even know that we're there is something important to consider. So small things like that you notice that you're more reactive to things, whereas normally it would just be, water off the duck's back. You find yourself having looping thoughts. You find yourself being maybe more verbally reactive. Something happens that is stressful, but it feels like a big, storm of worry or anxiety comes up that isn't easily mitigated. Then we want to check in with our nervous system. Some other things that we would start to notice also is our sleep pattern off? Is it more disrupted? Are we waking up and staying awake for longer periods of time? Are we having trouble falling asleep? Is our sleep lighter? Are we having more vivid dreams? These are all things that you want to start to notice when the rest and digest piece is off. And the digest piece, we might notice that we're having more stomach aches, more heartburn, more gas, constipation. That's because the body is not able to rest and function at its optimum. So this is not places that we want to be beating ourselves up about. We just want to be thinking, is there something already, some signals? Some other places you'll start to notice if your nervous system is on that heightened place is that you might have more chronic pain or discomfort. And so our bodies naturally hold stress in certain places. If you are one that clenches your jaw or grinds your teeth, and you're noticing that that's become even more, or that that's a thing, period, one of the ways that we would, over a long term, mitigate that, that's not just it just is. Yeah, it is that your body holds stress there, but it's not something that you need to have long term. But what we'd look at is how can we soothe the nervous system. If you're a person that gets migraines, you might notice that you're more headachy or having more migraines. Your shoulders are more sore. Depending on where you hold your stress, you're going to notice if your nervous system is constantly on high alert, that it's going to intensify those pieces. So, and just know that we are all here. We are all feeling the intensity and the stress, I think, just completely multiplied, if not squared, with the COVID piece. And even if you feel like you're handling that, right? Like nothing seems the same. Today I hear something new. Last week I, heard something else. I've got a kid that's recovering from COVID. And while the symptoms weren't that bad, some of the side effects are not great. And so how do we manage all this? So we want to start with that foundation of managing the stress at the nervous system level. The other thing, the nervous system is always watching for danger or safety. So we want to make you feel safe. That's how we support the nervous system. So the basics of self-care always apply. Move, and when I say move, I don't even you can go exercise. That's really great for your nervous system. It's always also really great to take a long, slow walk. That lowers cortisol levels. Dancing is really good. And you do not have to dance like you're going to win, solid gold. Did you watch that show? But just swaying back and forth, really good. Helps things to move through your body. Your body loves rhythm. Bouncing balls, any sort of rhythm your body really likes. Moving your hips in a circle, drumming, very, very soothing for the nervous system. With little kids, even we'll just have them roll a ball back and forth, bounce a ball back and forth. Rod just says he loves solid gold. You can imagine our kitchen life. So moving your body, obviously really good. Eating some foods that are super good for you. Foods that are in high in magnesium, other foods. And I think it may actually be that dark chocolate is also high in magnesium. Dark chocolate, hello, get out your dark chocolate. So good for you. Green leafy vegetables. And again, don't beat yourself up if you haven't been eating, like just a few things. Can I add some broccoli? Can I add some kale to something? Nice and gentle with yourself. The other piece is quality of sleep. So make sure that you're practicing good hygiene, dark rooms, cold rooms, going to bed at around the same time, no screens in your bedroom for at least 30 minutes before you go to bed. And making sure that you really just taking care of yourself and treat yourself like you would a little kid that has a hard time sleeping. So bath before bed, shower before bed, read a story, just anything that can soothe yourself is really good. We are at our very basics, clearly, mammals. And we like warm things. Bodies like warm things. So anything where you are warm, heating pads, hot drinks, hot soothing food, soups, things like that, your body loves these things. So I've had chronic pain for the last couple years, and I literally live with a heating pad, not necessarily where I'm sore, but just to remind myself, Kate, you're safe. Heating pad, heating bag, really good. Touch is very soothing to reset your nervous system. So massage can be really helpful. I have my massage therapist is watching right now, who I love, but that's not always viable. We're not going for a massage every week or every day. Your body cannot tell whether or not you are touching yourself or you're being touched by a professional, which is a miracle, even though your brain, that's very basics, can tell. But you're putting on hand lotion, massage your hands, massage your forearms, all of that, really, really good for you. I hate taking hot baths, but they are super good for your nervous system. So for a year, I took a hot bath every day just to remind myself to be soothing. The other thing is what you are thinking about and taking control of your thoughts. So speak to yourself like you are your own best friend. Be self-compassionate. Don't give yourself advice, just I'm doing the best I can. Yeah, this feels hard. Keep moving through. You're doing really well. Again, you can see how a hijacked brain is soothed. And again, your brain cannot tell if that voice is from an outside source, like a loving parent source, or if it's internal. So self-massage, soothing touch, soothing inner voices, really, really helpful. And so even today, think about, regardless of whether or not you feel like your brain is on overdrive in the nervous system department, just think of one thing that you could do to be kinder to yourself, or one thing that you feel drawn to. Weighted blankets, very good for you. Again, because we're mammals and babies are swaddled and feel comforted by that. Weighted blankets can be really, really lovely. Taking a nap. Our brains need rest in order to process things. So taking a 20-minute nap is really valuable for your brain to be able to reset. And again, not everybody can fall asleep in that time. That's totally fine. But even if you just lay down for a few minutes and just let your brain do its thing. Breathing, of course, is really important. So breathing in through your nose activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is that rest and digest system. So breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And if you can exhale longer than your inhale, imagine yourself breathing in through your nose, nice big breath. Relax your belly like you've had a big Thanksgiving dinner. And breathing out through a straw. Within a minute, your cortisol levels will be neutralized. And I'm glad for you that it's helpful. My favorite florist is here. Thank you, Small Flower, Ellie and Lillian. So breathing is really helpful. So even a combination of just thinking, okay, you know what? I'm going to focus on breathing. Getting out in the sunshine. So even if you do nothing else, I'm looking out at my cul-de-sac. There's sunshine in the middle of my cul-de-sac. I'll be standing in front of my neighbor's house. Sunshine on your face for 5 minutes a day. You were made for sunshine. I think that needs to be my legacy. You were made for sunshine. Stand in the light. Sunshine is very good for you. So I know that I've inundated you with a ton of different things, but just think of one thing, even if you're feeling great on this Monday, I hope you are, but think of one thing that today that you think, you know what, I'm drawn to that. That's your intuition. That's a big part of this too, realizing what is it I want, what is it I need, so that we can move through whatever we're going through, regular life stress, regular things that are on our plate, or the uncertainty of how things are going, and give yourself just one thing that will help to reset your nervous system. And if there's anything else that I can help you with in between time, I'll be back next Monday. Maybe there's some topics that you would like to have me cover. And I don't know everything, but I'm happy to do some research and report back. I am super thrilled that you could all join me today for Love at Lunch. This will be a weekly thing, Mondays at noon, Mountain Standard Time. And I'm just happy to be here spreading some love. And I hope today, more than anything, you feel lots of loved and held and cared for. I'm on your side.